Welcome to Happy Foot, Sad Foot. I'm Darren Miller, one of your hosts. This is the post-game live stream for LAFC versus Nashville SC.
Hello, I'm here. Sorry I kicked you off the same way that you kicked me off last week. Look, I just want to say, that game, we had every reason to just lose. And then for the last 10 minutes, it felt like we might win. And if it wasn't for a Biuk Puke, we would have won that game.
There were times in the second half where I was like, man, we should just win this game. Why aren't we winning this game? But I had to remind myself that there were way too many times earlier in the game that were like, we kind of should be losing this game.
Yeah. I just want to point out the solo comment so far in the chat. Jeffrey Steck says hi. So I just want to say hi, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. Welcome. Thanks for joining us, Jeffrey.
Quickly, I'll give a happy foot. My happy foot is obviously the Bouanga Blast. The sad foot is the Biuk Puke. I got a bunch of other thoughts I want to get to, but coined by friend of the foot, Yoni Lotan, after saying famously, full disclosure, I didn't watch the game.
What a slogan on no preparation.
Yeah.
The Bouanga Blast. It's perfect. That was one of two of my happy feet. I'll say Bouanga just like methodically hammering at them until it was just like, oh, you're gonna give me an open shot? Okay. Just buried it in the back of the net.
He also might be the fastest person in the league. Like, he's so big and so fast, and it seems like he gets faster as time. Maybe other people get slower and he just has insane endurance, but it's just like, fuck, man, he's better than everyone else in the league.
Yeah. It's great.
I also want to say the other big storyline in my mind from this game is that Ted Unkel, the referee, is a man that I do think has killed in his life. After watching this game, I think he did a bad job. And I'm not saying I have any proof of this.
Don't say publicly that he did a bad job.
I have no evidence that he's done this, but something in his eyes makes me go, I think that man's murdered. But I'm saying I don't have proof. I'm not making that allegation. I'm just saying it's an opinion I have before we put that out on the record.
Sure. Yeah, we don't know what he may or may not have done, but it did seem a lot like if anyone challenged his decision, he reacted in a way that was just like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Never mind.
If you speak to me like that again, I will hit you with my Chevy Tahoe. That's how.
Yeah.
Should we let Jeff in to have the conversation?
Jeff Tock in here. Yes, let's let you in. Thanks for being patient, Jeff. Welcome to Happy Foot, Sad Foot. You are on the live stream. What's on your mind?
Travis, I think you're giving Uncle too much credit, man. He'd have to be competent to kill somebody. You know what I mean? Like, there's no chance he's ever actually killed somebody on purpose. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe
you do not have to be competent to kill somebody
out there and something happened, but that guy can't.
Well,
I mean, it's like one of those games where like you're playing like a rec league game and you and the opponent hate each other, but you could both agree that the ref's terrible. Like, nobody was happy. Like, there's not one person on that field that was like, yeah, no, he killed it, man. Like, just the amount of like dumb, like, it's off this guy's shin. No, it's a goal kick. Like, you can only do that 4 or 5 times before I start to think, like, did he have a stroke and nobody noticed? You know what I mean? Like, it's not great.
Sometimes if I take Benadryl before I go to sleep, my eyes get a little glossy the next day. And I'm like, maybe that's what was good. Like, it just seemed like he couldn't see well.
Yeah. No, he took an edible a little too late last night. You know what I mean? And it's like, not like so bad he can't do the job.
He's still in a bit of a fog.
Like,
I don't know. It's 4:22. Maybe.
You wouldn't put him on the fryer. You know what I mean? You'd be like, why don't you do dish tonight, man? Like, stay away from stuff that you could hurt yourself, you know?
Yeah, Darren brings up a good point. It's 4:22. He might have not known what the edible size was.
Listen, it happened. Listen, we're in California, man. Like, there are all kinds of 10 milligrams is a different thing. That's not how I'm used to measuring stuff. You know what I mean? We had a lot of dirt weed where I'm from.
Is it fair to say that's your sad foot? What do you have an official happy foot and sad foot that you want to share?
My sad foot is that Dwayne.
You don't need to.
I had this whole belief that like he's gonna come on and like he's from LA, man. Like he's like our academy product, and like I'm not saying it's never gonna happen, but that guy doesn't look ready for prime time. Do you know what I mean? Like that doesn't look like a Sifu replacement. He doesn't look like a Tillman sub. He looks like a depth piece that isn't gonna play that much if things are going well. And that's a bummer because I really thought, like, I was at the first, like, the friendly that we played against Peñarol when he came in. And it was like, there's that great shot that did, like, a promo thing of, like, him and Vela running together. And you're like, he's the future, man. And now, yeah, maybe, but it's not. It's like the same thing with Torres, right? Christian Torres comes in and scores first thing, like that killer rocket. And you're like, look at this guy, Scott acting on his face. This is the future. We're never gonna die. And like, we might die.
Well, we will die. We will die for sure.
We'll all die.
Yeah,
I
but
think
I
it's
believe
important.
it, and I don't want to believe it. You know what I mean? That's why I want to, so I don't believe I'm gonna die. And Eric Dwayne just made me aware of my own mortality.
I'll say I will. That was a pretty strong sad foot, and I want to defend him a little bit because I had written in my notes, Dueñas like for a sad foot, Dueñas looked a little outmatched at times, just a little chaotic running around out there. Last 20 minutes of the game, honestly, once Acosta came in, it seemed like he was given some freedom to move forward more, and he seemed more comfortable with Acosta than he did with Sanchez. I liked him at the end of the game way more than I liked him the first 60 minutes of the game. What do you think, Darren?
I'll provide the other end of the spectrum here, so we have everything. I'm going to push back even harder. I actually thought he had a good game.
Wow.
People in the comments are also disagreeing with you, Jeff. You've said you're the Stephen A. Smith of Happy Foot Sad Foot.
let me say this.
I shudder to think what that makes me.
I played a lot of soccer in Los Angeles with little 18-year-old kids who school me and put me on my ass. Eric Dueñas does not seem to have what I would like in an 18-year-old.
Look, I wasn't looking for him to be somebody who should be starting every game. I was looking for him to be an 18-year-old kid who can do this when we need him to do this. Yeah. To come in and do this. And I liked what I saw. Like, he's tiny. He's outmatched just like physically.
I'm just saying,
like,
yeah. To me, it's more of he's slow and he's making decisions, right? And he keeps hitting people instead of as they're going forward, he's hitting them where they're standing, right? Which to me is like, this is a guy who's afraid to fuck up, a guy who's afraid to make a mistake.
Right.
And so he's not playing that stuff forward as much as you'd like it to. He's not caring. He's not making aggressive passes. And it's like, again, maybe in 3 games, I'm going to look like an idiot and everybody can hit me with a folding chair when they see me at the stadium. I'm all for it. I love that. But like right now, it doesn't feel like this is a guy who's progressing the ball in a way that we're excited about. He's not big enough to really play the kind of defense you'd like from that spot, like Acosta or whatever. And I just, I think it's more I put too much into Dueñas. I see.
I think your expectations were
live up to my
high
expectations.
I will say, I think that maybe your sad foot is that you don't like yourself.
No,
is that right?
But I love too much.
We're going deep here.
I believe in people too much, and I care so greatly that the world breaks my heart. I think you're right. You're right about that.
Well, the part that I will absolutely cop to is that I think his decision making was spotty, for sure at best.
I want to say though, I feel like we're being way too negative for a game that we 100% should have lost. We put out our fucking D squad. Like the only reason Dueñas played 90 minutes is because we didn't, like, Tillman wasn't on the bench again. Chiellini wasn't on the bench again. We had Bogus and Stipe out there to start over Vela and Apoku. Like, we had what should be a team that should lose at home or away against Nashville, a team that's supposed to be very good, or not very good, but at least decent. And we should have been down probably by more than 1 goal in the first half, but the second half we looked like the better team and we had a lot of possession. And I was surprised by, it sucked. I would say the first half of that game was the least fun I've had watching us this season. But the second half, I felt like we were in control and we played we came away with a point in a game that it seemed like Dolo, much like us in the preview show, were cool with losing. It seemed like they were okay with losing this game.
Yeah, I think that the happy foot is we tied a game where Eric Dueñas went 90 minutes. And the sad foot is
hold on.
Like, it's,
go ahead.
You're gonna be the fucking villain of this show. People are gonna.
I love it.
This is my heel turn. All right,
I love it.
I'm into this now.
The MJF of Happy Foot Sad.
We're undefeated, right? Very exciting.
Yeah.
And like, worst case here, guys. I listened to podcasts. I listened to the preview podcast. What do we care about this game? And ultimately, we didn't care that much. We're down Chiellini and someone in the middle, right? Like, we're playing Dueñas 90 minutes. Because why not? And we're still coming up with a point. And like, honestly, could have won that game pretty easily. That's not a dumb scraped it out at the very end point. That's a really solid point.
Yeah.
Look, I gotta say, like, I think Dueñas was. I don't want to like hang on him for too long, But like, just I don't know how many games ago it was where Maldonado gave us 90 minutes, and just the fact that he gave us 90 minutes, we were celebrating.
And
Like,
Maldonado had a pretty decent game. That goal was not his fault. Him and Murillo
true.
bumped into each other. Murillo bumped into two players this game.
that was just chaos. That was just like
But both times it was the scariest moments of the game for me. The first was he bumped into Maldonado. They fucking fucked up the ball and it fell on Hani Mukhtar's foot, which is bad luck. The second time was in the second half. He bumped into Palacios, I think, and Palacios had to head the ball over the net, causing a bunch of corner kicks in a row. Like, it just was. Murillo had a hot head out there today and was not playing his smartest game of soccer.
Yep. And a dumb yellow from Murillo, but this is where I'll give Duenas a lot of credit. That's a very smart yellow to get up there, jump in the guy's face, stop that counter. Because here's the thing, accumulation doesn't matter for him, and he's not going to get another yellow, generally speaking, because he's not making these fierce tackles. So that's a really, really, really smart play.
I missed that yellow. I was folding laundry, or was I getting laundry out to fold? I saw everybody tweeting about how smart of a yellow it was. What happened?
So the guys they're taking a throw in real fast, trying to get Mukhtar down the side. So it's probably a 2-on-1 against Murillo, I think, with Mukhtar and Teal Bunbury, aka Teal Blueberry, because that guy stinks. That'd be my sad foot if I was on the other side. Was that guy's the worst? But anyways, he's still a human being. So you have to defend him. And Duenas doesn't have enough room to come all the way back and defend, and so instead he jumps up, throws his hands up, and then kind of gives the guy a little shove in order to not let him put the ball into play.
Smart.
He just took the yellow. Yeah, look, he gave us 90 minutes. It was his first start. He's 18 years old. He's 3 feet tall. Like, my happy foot column is Bouanga hammered at the goal all game and finally buried it straight into the net. And the second thing is Duenas is a pesky little twerp, and I love it. That's what's in my happy foot column.
He's our Yoshi this season.
I'm looking for a new Yoshi, and we got him. So I'm happy about this guy. You're disappointed in things that are going to come with like him getting more reps in. So I wouldn't be too defeatist about the future with this kid.
Jeff is the heel, Darren is the face, and who knows who I'm going to hit with the chair.
You guys want to hate CPA Biuk for missing these sitters and doing all this stuff. CPA Biuk's a young man. So we're giving a lot of credit to Dwayne after being young and CPA Biuk. We have the thing named after him. You guys named it Biuk Puke. That's terrible. That's so mean to this guy.
Oh, we're going after Biuk. We're going after Biuk.
He's great. And you guys are like, he should be scoring all these. Like,
he can't finish. He can't finish.
I think
we've given Duenas one chance. We've given Biuk 100 chances at this point.
He's been on the team for 7 games. He's played like not even a whole thing, and you guys already want to kill him.
I don't want to kill him. I don't want to kill him. Here's the thing about Biuk. It's just he's made so many beautiful opportunities and continues to fuck up at the last minute.
So you're just judging him he is. He's doing these great things and then fucking up the end, and you're judging him for that. And Duenas isn't able to even get the passes forward. This is anti-Eastern European stuff. There's something deep inside both of you guys.
You're right. No, you're right. Like it's a deep hatred of Croatians.
It's a self-loathing of Eastern European roots.
Right, he's got the fade on the thing that only those like Eastern Euro dudes have, or Coke dealers, and you guys are judging him for it.
Look, as someone who is from Poland, from Hungary, we don't like the Croatians, and that's why I'm going. I'll just say, I think also expectations is why that's happening as well. You had high expectation for Duenas. Biuk, it's a fucking golden boy in Europe. You know, like he should have scored more than one goal by now, and that one goal was bad. I don't want to neglect the comments though, real quick.
Yes.
Let me just go through some of the ones while you were talking, Jeff, to let you know how much everyone hates you. Duenas was solid, especially in the second half. Jesse Perez, Ryan Olsen, I like Duenas. Dillar's Cop. Dilsar Cop. It doesn't matter. Had a great game for an 18-year-old. Ryan Olsen brings up a very good point, which is if our concession to Champions League is drawing matches we probably should win, then this is going to be a memorable season. Very, very good point. Jesse Perez.
It's his first start.
Go ahead, Darren. Sorry.
Oh no, that's good. I was just basking in the glory that is having support in the comments for my own podcast. The huge advantage I have in this. Unexpected, but
I think it's
very
important for people
welcome
to be
debate.
wrong. You know, it's important to have a space for people to be really wrong on the internet. You know, this is the only place you can be wrong on the internet is this podcast. So it's good you guys are doing it.
Jeff, your energy, you have big Twitter blue energy right now. You're really
you've ever said. Travis, we're friends. That's so terrible.
Just like overconfident in how wrong you are.
No, honestly, I don't think he's wrong. The thing is, I disagree with the point of view, but I don't think any individual thing you said is off in any way. Like,
the best
you're right.
kind of correct.
Right. I just think that I think I'm looking at this from a wider angle than you are, and from my angle, it looks better than from your angle.
Here's what I'm saying. I think he's going to get better. He's going to be a better player than, say, Christosimo. But right now, if you're looking at our two teenagers, Biuk and
yes, Biuk is a better player.
He's a better player. And so to me, it's the sad foot is that I thought they had a chance to be at Biuk's level or higher, and he's not. That's all that it is. But again, I'll take my heel roll. I don't like
my bar is at Yoshi, so I'm happy.
As long as we have a Yoshi.
I just want Yoshi.
Shy guy energy. You know what I mean? Yoshi's very like smiley and whatever. Dwayne is a little inward. Dwayne is a little like walk slow. So I think that's a shy guy. Sort of
shy guy.
I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart with my kids. That's why.
Travis R in the comments says Happy Foot Sad Foot is the premier podcast about the Balkans regions, in his opinion or their opinion. I have a lot of takes. Every night before bed, if I can't sleep, I weirdly read about the war in Ukraine. Like, it's just the thing I do at 1 a.m. in my bed is read journalists in Kyiv or Kiev. We all said Kiev, and then what's his name in the Trump trial or whatever said Kyiv, and now we don't know what to say. It doesn't matter.
I think it's Kyiv.
It's Kyiv, I think, but it's fine. Yeah. Going back to some comments, Rancho said we had 45% of possession and more than double their shots, 18 shots for LAFC, 19 for LAFC, 8 for Nashville. I can appreciate our aggression. Genuinely was surprised by how good we looked, especially because their defense is so good. Rancho says, do you feel as if our offense will continue to be creative during the length of the season, tournaments, and hopefully postseason? I mean, we didn't have fucking anything going, and Bouanga made it happen. Like, just having Bouanga is going to make us deal with it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think Bouanga's always creative. I think Fela's very creative. I think him coming in at the end made things more creative. I think that's the big advantage we have against other teams, really. I mean, Nashville's a perfect example of the kind of team that, like, they felt a little one note to me, and that's what made them beatable. They were good. I thought they were good, but it was just like it was a very good illustration of what separates us from most other teams, was that, like, we can find ways to beat you.
I had a happy foot
with Bouanga and Layla. That's just going to keep happening.
I had a happy foot around Bouanga that was near the end of the game. He had that back pass to, I believe it was Sifu, who then who kind of mishit it to Carlos, but it was like a really great chance. And it was nice. Yeah, Bouanga is not only the best scorer on our team, he's just the best player. Like, he's not he's the best player in the league. Like, it's just obvious. I mean, Hani Mukhtar looked good, but he's a goal scorer. He can't do the shit that Bouanga can do. At least in that game, he did not seem like as good of a player as Denny Bouanga.
I agree. Yeah. And I think other thing to remember as we go forward in how long the season is that, to me, the problem won't be the attackers, right? Like, especially if we're bunkering and we're countering, right? Like, any one of those guys, like Opoku can counter really well. Bouanga can counter really well. I think that's Biuk's game. I think, that's our other new Polish gentleman's game. I think the worry is going to be that midfield. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that, like, Acosta and Ilie and Sifu are playing well. And, like, if Tillman comes back, you got maybe 4, then you can add Dwayne as 4.5. But, like, that's not as deep as I'd like to be to play Leagues Cup and CCL if we're able to do it. And so that, I think, is where the additions are going to come. I think that, like, if I was John Thornton, that he's going to find some weird big name striker like Gareth Bale for no reason again. And then I think it'll be, hopefully like a person with more experience. And ideally we can move Sifu on so that we can have it be a regular DP. Because I think if you move, there's like a weird roster thing where we can get a senior DP if we get rid of Sifu. And
I think in order to get a senior DP, we have to buy down Vela. Because right now we have we have too many under 20 or something. It has something to do with under 20. And so the way we could do it is that we'd have to re-sign Sifu as an under 20 DP and then, or like a young DP, and then sell him. But I don't think he's going to want to re-sign because it's going to be it'll be harder for him to get a good deal elsewhere. So I feel like we might be fucked on the DP sets, or we're fucked on it until Sifu moves on, I think, which will be this summer. But Sifu,
and that's why it's also such a bummer that he's not killing it right now, because that doesn't look like a guy that's going to Brighton right now, right? And it's not to say they couldn't go or that he's not going to go later, but like you'd want him to be playing better in order to have a bigger transfer value and get him out of here.
His passes are just like not as crisp. They're like behind players. Like he's just not playing up to the way he played last year, and it's somewhat disappointing. Also, a reminder, hit the thumbs up in the chat. We always only say it at the very end, but it helps people find us. So if you're on the YouTube, hit the thumbs up. Couple of other comments that we've missed so far. Alex Peters says, happy Foot. We get a point despite playing our B team due to injuries. Thanks, leg guy. We got hashtag leg guy out is the new Klein out, I think. And then Alex Peters also says, sad Foot. I'm pretty concerned about these injuries. I'm curious what's up with Chiellini, because he was the late scratch and now he's not on the bench. I'm curious how serious the Chiellini injury is. What do you think, Darren? What do you know, Darren? What are your sources saying, Darren?
Listen, I talk to Chiellini. Chiellini and I text obviously all the time.
He only speaks in Italian though, so you don't know what he's saying.
No, but he understands English perfectly because he's a superhero. I don't know. I think they're just being careful with him. I think I'm not too worried. I think he might miss some games, but like he's fragile. Why shouldn't he be? Yeah, I think, and this was a great game to test out like how strong can we be if we don't have him. Like let's throw Palencia and Maldonado back there and see what happens. And I thought it worked out. I mean, the first 15 minutes were scary. That said, I don't know. With our starters in the first 15 minutes of every game this season we've been really like flat, a little bit iffy. That's sort of a trend with us, even with the starters. So yeah, they definitely settled in and weren't too bad. But yeah, it'd be nice to have Chiellini back for sure. And Aaron Long, neither of them traveled, so it's not.
I mean, it's all about resting for Philly because now we have to travel all the way across to Philadelphia in 4 days to play what is our most important game of the season against a team that really will want to beat us. Like they're going to come for us. And I just want to, I missed a comment from Rancho that I think is smart too, which is Nashville has 5 clean sheets in 8 games. So getting 1 goal against arguably the best defense right now feels okay. And that's true. And we should have had more than 1 in that second half. Like Biuk Puke. I know I have to say it. There was no, I would have scored that goal. You know what I mean? Like it was such an easy tap and he leaned back. The one thing as a forward is you don't lean back, wide open net. I love Stipe Biuk. I really do. But I am now at the point where I'm ready to say we need more for him. And I do want to say Bogus looked great. Bogus, I thought was good. Really, really fun.
I felt like that was kind of a rude awakening for Bogus because he took the time to stop and wait for Buke, and I was like, don't do that, dude. He's going to throw it in the trash. And he did.
I'll say this. I
now
think
he knows.
A little out of shape. He looks a little doughy, Bogus.
Who does?
Bogus?
Like when he's running on those like really long ones and you catch up to him, he's kind of like,
that's funny. I was wondering why they took him out, and that's probably why.
I think, and by the way, like maybe there's something going on we don't know about as far as cardio, but he definitely did not. I think he's going to look faster and meaner soon because that didn't look like a professional soccer player. On the 3rd run of the game.
Something we don't know about going on as far as cardio is such
maybe he got hurt and he can't train the kind of cardio he wants.
It's like a sinister neg.
Sick, you know what I mean? Maybe there's. Are you insinuating something about Eastern Europeans, Dan? I don't know what that means.
The comments you're saying that we're racist against Croatians, and the comments are saying you're racist against Dueñas. So this is going to get real toxic real soon.
This is great.
No, listen, for the record, my love for Dueñas is pushing forward my frustration with him, not my anti-Dueñas stance. You guys,
I think that's fair and clear.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's coming from a deep hatred of all people from that country. I've already said that Ted Unkel has committed murder, and now I'm admitting to hating an entire country. Like, this is, I got to stop being this comfortable when I know people are watching. I'm just joking, everyone. 2 people
We
in the
love
comments
everyone.
have called Stipe B-Rod already, and I just want to say, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. David Day points out Chiellini is 48 years old, which is the issue.
David Day, love it. That's a great comment.
Rancho's
Drew might be
Oh, go
48 years old.
Yeah. And then Rancho's Happy Foot is the tapestry. Sad Foot, no bed that to demand Darren to lay on. Jeff Stack, did
Apologies.
anyone win the bet? No, I said 2 own goals from the same person, and you said 3 reds, so no.
I said 3 reds. There was a moment where I was like, a lot of yellows building up. We don't know. Maybe something cracks. But no.
Yeah.
My original bet was 2 red cards, but yours was so insane that I had to up it to 3.
Well, I feel like when the money gets higher, we start to be a little bit more. We start to play it a little bit more straight.
Maybe we can hit. Yeah.
Michael says
fair.
Happy Foot not dropping points on the road and scoring against one of the league's best defenses. Sad Foot, no Buke bangers. We did get a Bouanga Blast. Bouanga Blast, the crisp, refreshing Bouanga Blast that we can all enjoy.
I think that once Buke finally gets through, we will absolutely be celebrating and giving his due, and we know how much we owe him in that moment. But
what do you guys know?
Love for that moment to come.
What you're gonna call the good Stipe plays? Is it gonna be a Stipe strike? You got like a Stipe stunner. What's your vibe there?
Stipe stunner is great.
Stipe stunner sounds good.
I will say
stunner is famously not taken.
The Stone Cold Stipe is a great nickname.
Stone Cold Stipe is good. There we go. Yeah, that's a good saying. There we go.
I will say I haven't seen a player less stone cold than Stipe Buke.
He's cold.
Yeah. Well, no, maybe he is. Maybe that's right. But I also just want to say that there's another comment from Jeffrey Reiner saying, "Where is the bed? The people demand Darren's bed."
Oh boy. Listen, sometimes this is technically our guest room, so sometimes we have guests and the bed is out.
We don't want real answers, Darren. We want to see you laying in the bed.
That's why I'm giving you real answers.
Stipe hasn't been the Michael Stipe of MLS for a little bit, and I think it's because I've been a little disappointed. But if he starts doing a little bit more, maybe I'll be losing my religion of hating him, and he'll be back.
What's the frequency, Kenneth, of these misses at the last second?
I'm much younger than you, so I can't make IM jokes. Yeah, I'm young and cool, so
yeah, right, you don't get the reference.
Of course, yes. We're
as you guys can tell by my bald head and demeanor of an 85-year-old man, I'm much younger and cooler than you guys.
You can only see the front of my head right now, is all I'll say.
We are, of course, as podcast hosts, ageless. So.
Rancho says currently St. Louis City is up. Rancho, they want you to say city in all caps. That's how they demand you write their team name. So you misspelled their team name. It's St. Louis City. Is up a goal right now in Colorado.
No, it's called St. Louis.
Yeah.
What is St. Louis City?
They're just doing Man City. They're just, it's just this, like, it's the worst thing about MLS, right? It's like the Euro snob nonsense where, like, it's this United.
Okay.
And you're like, that's not what United means, guys. Like, City.
Like, we narrowly decided against Los Angeles City as a team. Like,
we got lucky, man. We got lucky. We just went with the classics. You know?
I will say I did once have a Chinatown bus driver when I was taking Chinatown buses a lot from New York, between New York and Boston, who said that we should be arriving in the next few minutes to Boston City, and I do remember clocking that and thinking that sounded great.
Your bus driver was an alien.
No, I think he was reading off a form where it said Boston, and then right next to it was the city that you're going to.
You're right.
Maybe that's.
But Rancho is pointing out that they're playing Colorado. They're already up, and they're going to move 3 points higher. That's true. Again, I don't really give a shit about Supporter Shield. I don't think Cherundolo does. And also, we still have a game in hand, and we're about to have another one because we moved the Houston game. So we're going to be a few games behind. I'm not worried about the table. We're going to get into the playoffs.
Yeah. I love how straightforward Cherundolo was.
Team.
They interviewed Cherundolo right before the game, and he was just like, "Yeah, we're fielding a lineup. We're hoping to get a point." That was it.
Yeah.
See if we can get out of here with a point. It's like, yeah, all right, great.
Yeah, David Day says, so Biuk is not a DP. No, Biuk is not a DP. He's a straightforward signing. My guess is most likely, if we want to make a big striker signing, we could maybe do the Gareth Bale money trick, but that was such a specific thing where he only wanted to play clearly for a few weeks to stay healthy for the World Cup. I think if we want to sign a big striker, we're going to have to buy down Vela. I think Vela at this point, if he doesn't want to do that, is maybe not a team player, but I would never talk shit about Vela. I think he'd be willing to do that to keep the team winning, especially because he's not going to be bought down he's still going to be our highest paid not DP if that becomes the case.
By the way, for the casuals in the audience, I'm not going to pretend like I know what the fuck Travis is talking about. I have no idea what's going on right now. Maybe later we'll do an episode, a deep dive on MLS economics.
I think there's a guy on the Reddit that just knows all this salary cap stuff. I think
that's where I learned it.
On press. Yeah. That might be.
We'll have him on the pod.
Yeah.
It doesn't
explain it like I'm normal.
It's actively not. It's not intuitive at all. Like the way that MLS roster rules work seem like they were designed because each time they create a new rule, one owner's mad about something, and they're just like, let's just fucking put this patchwork thing in place. My big hope is that Messi comes, which would be incredible. And then they go, fuck it. Everyone go crazy. They get rid of the DP, or they at least add a bunch of DPs. Like if Messi's in the league, there's going to be so many eyes on the league. It would be so stupid for them to then cater to the motherfuckers who own Colorado Rapids, the guys who don't want to spend money, the Kroenkes of the world. And like, just if you don't let us if you don't let us cook after that. I said mid on the preview pod, and now I said let us cook. I'm 35 years old. But it would just be dumb if they don't throw them all out the window mid-season and let us do whatever we want.
And I think the other frustrating thing about the MLS roster is that there's no transparency. Like you don't know in any other sport, how much the player's getting paid. You know what the hard cap is. You know what the soft cap is. You know what the luxury cap is, luxury tax is. And MLS, we straight up don't know what most of the teams are doing with their money. And so not only do we have an incredibly complex roster system that doesn't make any sense, right? It's the American medical system of roster rules, just complete nonsense, a bunch of stuff that rolls over itself. It also has the problem of the American medical system of nobody knows what anything costs. Nobody knows what anything is. And so it's the worst possible version of a salary cap and roster rule nonsense. It's really genuinely terrible.
I want to say something. I'm going to... No, I shouldn't say it. Never mind. I heard a rumor. Someone told me a thing about Messi negotiations with MLS that I'm like, I'm not a journalist. I'm not going to say that. I don't know what I'm supposed to say and not say. So I'm not going to say it. It's just, they told me some weird workaround that they're trying to do to get him. And it's not anything that's been put public, but it made me laugh how insane it is, but we'll see if it's true or not. And I'll tell you
just
when we
give him the
sign
whole league. Just give him the whole league. Why not? Who cares? Just
would you believe
new owner of the MLS, sole owner,
0.5% of MLS? I would believe that if they were like, we'll give you 0.5%
of course
of all
the teams are owned by the MLS, aren't they?
Let's just say what you're saying is not that different from what was told to me. Is that there is I'll just fucking say it. Who gives a shit? Now, if I'm retweeted by Dan LeBatard or whatever, I'm gonna get in trouble. But the rumor that I heard from a person who it's no one who's been on the podcast, so it's not like it's not a person that anyone would connect to me. But the thing that I heard was that they're offering him not only a stake in Miami, but in the league as a whole. And so that when he comes, the league's about to make a bunch of money. And then if the league, he makes a cut of whatever the league is worth at that point. And that's what they're trying to do to get around our weird rules or whatever. I don't know if it's real. It just came from a person who knows a lot of people, but there's me breaking news on the postgame live stream, everyone.
You better hope there's not a picture of you and Jorge Mas flying around, man. You're going to get deep shit.
I hope that it's go ahead.
I was going to completely change the subject.
Please do. I just did something I shouldn't have done. Go ahead.
Shout out to Mario Salazar in the comments who says, I only got to partially watch the game, but came to support Happy Foot Sad Foot. I hope Happy Foot Sad Foot still exists after what Travis just said. In the future, Let's see.
The person who told me was Don Garber. Me and Don Garber's a huge fan.
No, you know what? I feel like I've read that somewhere. That's not like far off.
Well,
from
no.
rumors that are
What
published.
what people had said is that all the teams are putting in money. What they haven't said is that they're going to give him a cut of the league. And I thought that I don't even know how that would fucking work. But it makes
But
sense.
it's not that
he's
different, right?
Yeah.
Like what a cut of a team is a cut of the league in a way. Like we might as well just be direct about it. That doesn't seem that outlandish to me.
Dillis said, is there a thing where he could choose his club? That's not what I don't have actually sources. This is just something that was different than anything that I had read that was told to me. It's slightly off from him getting a part of Inter Miami, which everyone knows is on the table, and picking his team, which is just Miami. I mean, I guess it would probably be between Miami and us if he had a choice, but he has family in Miami. He wants to live in Miami.
He has family in Miami? I didn't know that.
I think he lives in Miami in the off season.
Messi?
Yeah.
He does?
Or he like that? Yeah, like he has a home there.
So the rumor I heard was that he thought he was going to go to Miami because he thought it'd be chill, but then it's so South American, Latin American that like he just gets mobbed wherever he goes.
Yeah.
So this is like the thing that he thought it was going to be like, oh, I could come and be anonymous, and then he got there, and it was just as bad as it would be kind of anywhere else.
Yeah.
So
there's nowhere left on earth where he could go and be anonymous. I don't think.
He could go to Colorado. Yeah. If he went and played for Colorado Rapids, no one would know who he was. 100%.
Wasn't there a rumor? It was like, like St. Louis was close to signing him.
It was
Kansas City and Ronaldo. Kansas City almost signed Ronaldo.
Nothing would have been more bad. That would have been so perfect, man. Like that. And it would have been like the club because they like love that they're like American soccer, the home of American soccer, all that nonsense. And then they would have to defend this like complete maniac who would be Zlatan times 100 without the goals. It would have been so great. God, what a missed opportunity, guys.
Okay, Jeffrey Reiner says that he read what I just said somewhere, so I'm not breaking any.
I feel like I heard it too, unless I heard it in the same way that you did. So then
I thought that it was just. I thought what was public is that all the teams were paying in to pay a salary, but I didn't. So okay, I got really excited about having inside information.
I got a few neutral notes.
Yeah, go for it.
There should be a segment on the live streams. Neutral notes.
Athlete's foot.
Yeah, I've got an athlete's foot, actually. I do. It's I have an athlete's foot to Nashville SC as an organization. It was Walker Zimmerman bobblehead night, which I feel like was a very effective trolling move. That stung in just the right way, I think.
Yeah, but I was proud that the minute Walker Zimmerman came off, they looked much worse. Their back line looked much worse.
Yes.
And
that was us respecting him so much that we were like, we don't want to score while you're on, right?
Yeah.
You go ahead, do your thing, and then when you come off, we'll do our thing.
I have a happy foot that I forgot about, which is that I don't know how it's spelled, but there's a man on Nashville whose last name is pronounced Grey Goose, and it kept making me laugh every time they'd say Grey Goose.
Oh, he got real mad at one point.
Yeah. Grey Goose.
There was also a man on Nashville SC whose last name is Moyle. Is it Moyle? Moyle?
Oh, I have a happy foot. Friend of the foot, Kellen Parker, proud new dad. As of a few
shout out
hours
to
ago.
the newest friend of the foot.
The newest friend of the foot. I don't want to say anything more than that because I don't know what's public and what their family knows or whatever. But congrats to Kellen. Everyone wish Kellen well.
Absolutely.
Does this end with you talking yourself into releasing what you know in about 2 minutes, Travis?
Look, I just heard from somewhere that Kellen had a baby, and
someone in the know. It's not connected to the podcast.
It's not who you think it's from. Can we just look? We'll do a quick. Travis, you go ahead and stop me. I don't know how I can stop myself from this, but let's take a second to just talk about the kits real quick.
Okay, yeah. Go
okay.
For it.
I don't know. One of our first podcasts, when we were complaining about the smokescreen kits, I was like, I'm sure they have like an alt kit that they're going to release at some time. Why can't they just make that the away kit? And then you were like, yeah, they always do some kind of bullshit kit that's like made out of water bottles for Earth Day or some shit. And then lo and behold, out of the blue, here comes exactly that. I actually really like these kits. We should have just had these instead of our smokescreen kits. These are great. It felt a little weird that they were like matching so much. It was kind of like I felt like I was watching a weird practice scrimmage, but
and if you watch the
cool.
MLS, if they're all playing at the same time, everyone's wearing these same kits. So every team has a kit that looks like ours and a kit that looks like Nashville. So if you're ever trying to watch
the light blue, dark blue thing,
yeah, and it's the same thing.
I didn't know that.
It's completely insane.
Sucks.
So this is also how you can wear like an LAFC jersey to an away game and not get beat up. Is that everybody's Earth Day kits look the same, so they won't tell it you're LAFC until it's too late.
Yeah. I think you're vastly overestimating how intense the MLS is. There's no way to wear an LAFC jersey to an away game and get beat up. I don't think.
Let's have a special episode about people that tried to beat Jeff up at LAFC games. Yeah, it's a whole.
Yes,
that should be like a fan thing. Write in your time that somebody tried to kick your ass.
Yeah,
I got spit on at LAFC by a Leon fan from the top deck from their section.
Woo!
Dude nailed me from the top. So that's
whoa,
a light one.
You know but you're proving my point that we're not that kind of league, and they are.
What do you mean by they, Darren?
Yeah, really. Jeez, we're releasing.
Wait. What team are you talking about?
Leon
from the Mexican League.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. They're a real league. They don't fuck around.
Oh, I see.
A Galaxy fan called me a racial slur that neither he or I was. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of ways to look really poorly, you know?
Fair. Okay.
Galaxy fans, you can't blame them because they've breathed in so much of that air that their brains don't work properly anymore. Alex Peters said those kits are worse than the smokescreen, Darren, and I think I kind of agree.
Disagree. I like them.
I like them. It says the first thing I saw when I looked at them is it says the word waste really big down the middle. Like it says waste on the jersey.
Well, the smokescreen kids also say waste, just like not in text.
Is this my hot take that I like the smokescreen kits? I think they look really cool. Like I really like the smokescreen kits.
I think it's pretty 50-50. I think it's I don't think it's unusual to like or dislike the smokescreen kits. I think
a lot of people
in good
disagree
company
with
either
us.
way.
Yeah, a lot of people disagree with us. Ryan also said, did you see the zoom in on them? They have eco words on them. Yeah, it was like plastic waste.
And plastic waste, yeah. Whatever. Whatever. We have
I love
disgusting,
plastic.
stupid
I use plastic
corporations
every day.
on every single jersey. Now we have a problem with words we don't like?
I don't know about you, but I love the company Geodis, a thing that I know exactly what it is. I would die for Geodis.
I'm pretty sure it's a Pokemon.
I'm dying of Geodis.
What other notes you got, Darren? And also before we forgot, and Jeff just said call in or everybody should send in their stories. Darren and I want to do a segment for our preview show this week where we talk about some stories from the MLS Championship of like memories you have from that day that aren't necessarily related to what happened on the pitch, things that happened in the stands, things that happened to you on the way there, interactions you had, just some memories you have around that day. Could be funny, could be sweet, could be stupid. Just like send us a voice memo that we want to put on the podcast to happyfootsadfootpod@gmail.com. Just record a voice memo, hopefully around 30 seconds to 60 seconds, telling us your memory, because Darren and I both want to share some funny stories that we have from that day. So I just, before I forget, I was supposed to say that at the top of the show. happyfootsadfootpod@gmail.com. Send us a voice memo. And if none of you send it, I'm going to look stupid for asking. Sorry, Darren, go back to your notes.
This episode retroactively. But yeah, send in your memories, send in your stories. We'll make a little patchwork of everybody's thing. I mean, we'll only pick the good ones, honestly. So
now someone's going to send it in and they'll be really sad they weren't picked.
Like, yeah. We are under no obligation to share anything. No, we would love to hear everybody's stories. I think we can make something really cool out of that. What else do I have in my notes here?
Ryan Nelson from the MLS Cup Championship Day. Our last time we played Philly. That's the day we're looking for.
Yes, from the last time we played Philly. Pretty memorable day in my memory. I have one note in here toward the end of the first half that just says someone should really cover this Mukhtar guy.
Hani Mukhtar, best name in Major League Soccer. Such a joy to say. Like all parts of it feel good in your mouth. Hani Mukhtar. It's just a wonderful name.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah. McCarthy had an okay game. The McCarthy tracker, I think, is an important part of this podcast. He had one big save that struck me in my notes. Like right at point blank, I was worried that it hit his face for a second, but it didn't.
Yeah.
That
was a great
wasn't
save.
so bad.
He got real big. They should have scored there, and he did a great job cutting down the angle.
Yeah, yeah.
I wrote
covered.
I wrote a happy foot down that when we were losing that just said, happy foot, this game does not matter. And so I just want to remind everyone that even though this game doesn't matter, we still got a point out of it. Like,
I really do feel like there were equal amount of moments where it was like, wait, what the hell? We should win this game and like, oh my God, I can't believe we're not losing by 3 goals right now.
Yeah. Mario also said in the comments, only got to partially watch the match, but came to support Happy Foot, Sad Foot. Oh, you said that already. I'm sorry.
I did, but it deserves a second shout out. That's
very nice
move.
that he said that.
I'll also shout out a pro move from you earlier that you called out an old Rencho comment that was like way back that I clocked as well, but you reached back and grabbed it. That I thought was a good thing. To call out.
People are smart in our chat. They're calling us racist.
They keep us honest. Really, everyone in the chat should be the host of this podcast.
I'm happy that Jeff is the
thanks for hanging out, Jeff.
Heel of the show.
Guys, there's nothing I'm gonna love more than coming on these things and just saying crazy stuff to make you mad. You know what I mean?
You're always welcome.
I want you to know that when I come back at you, we're still friends and we're doing the pardon my take thing. Where this isn't, we don't hate each other.
You can say that, but that Twitter blue thing that cuts deep in your nose. That's not a thing you say when you're just doing kayfabe. That's the thing you mean. You know, that's you twist the knife. But I don't mean it.
I don't mean it.
Like
I had used
forever. I'm gonna love you forever too, Travis. I'm just disappointed, same as I am in now.
I'll say I used that joke on Twitter earlier about Ted Unkel, and I liked it enough that I was like, I want to say it again.
Even worse.
Twitter blue energy.
I'm getting leftovers, man. I'm getting leftover knives. It's terrible.
Me and Jeff are about to have so much more time to think about LAFC if we go on strike in 2 weeks. Less than that. 1 week. Fuck.
1 week. It's Monday. It's a week from Monday.
Woo.
Yeah. Oh, if you're a WGA member, find me on Twitter, and we're all going to go drink together on that Monday night.
Oh, that'll be fun.
4 people possible listening to this, but I care deeply about this.
I want to be really hammered the first day on the picket line. Like or really hungover is what I mean.
I don't think we're going to sweep. That's my pitch. My pitch is we take that early picket shift, and we just drink the whole way through. Go, not sleep.
I go on a bender until the strike's over. That sounds like a smart idea.
If there's a picket line, should people show up to support the picket line with drinks for people instead of what people normally do? Just like actual food and supplies and just alcohol.
In Las Vegas, you know what I mean? We'll just keep drinking until it gets resolved, you know?
Yeah.
I love it.
Alex
Jeffrey
Peter
Reiner
says,
in the comments.
Oh, sorry.
You were going before me. I was saying Jeffrey Reiner. I was being selfish. Jeffrey Reiner said Darren got the Moyle reference. Thank you so much.
What's Moyle? I don't know what Moyle is.
Oh, well, in Judaism,
Moyle here we go.
Is a person.
Not only do I hate Croatia.
What's going to get Travis in more trouble? That message?
Yeah, the easy one here. Yeah.
The blonde German.
Low.
Something.
Yeah. Arian host on the podcast as well. A Moyle performs a bris. Do you know what bris is?
Oh, yes, I do.
The circumcision. A Moyle is I believe is also a rabbi.
Okay, so I'm sorry I didn't laugh at that. That is funny.
That's funny. It was the feel of like a I'm sorry I laughed at that situation, but it really I'm sorry I didn't laugh at that is what was appropriate.
What I was going to say is Alex Peters says Colorado just equalized against St. Louis City.
City. Do it for the city.
I want to go. That St. Louis Stadium looks fun. I mean, I don't want to necessarily go to St. Louis, but although Darren, you love it. You love terrible cities.
I have family in St. Louis. I have family in all the bad cities.
All the bad cities. Boston,
St. Louis, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Let's see. Miami. Yeah.
I was on a text chain with Darren once where he said that there is just as good food and art in Cleveland as there is in New York and Los Angeles.
I think, this is part of a larger point of view that I have, a thesis that I have that's being taken out of context. I think all like capital C cities at this point are pretty much the same. Like there is good blank in every city at this point. If you actually go there, there's like that layer of that city exists. It just does. Like it's 2023. You can find good food, good nightlife, whatever it is, everywhere you go.
I challenge you
There's a
to
big
go to
difference
Phoenix,
between-
Arizona.
I'm sure you can. Honestly, go there. Like you're being ignorant. Just go to these cities. They're all fine.
I've
But
been
New
to
York-
so. Go ahead, Jeff.
And also the good cities like New York and LA and everything, like they've gotten worse.
What are you talking
They're all
about?
getting worse.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I live in LA. I love LA. I've lived in New York. I love New York. But look, like everything is becoming the same. This is part of
But
a larger theory that is really very
The food in those cities have
pessimistic.
not gotten worse.
No, they're fine. It's fine. But like good food is not hard to do. Like, what do you think these are third world countries? Like
Cleveland,
what
yeah.
kind
There's a really big difference between you can find sushi in Cleveland and also Omaha and also Los Angeles, and they're all
Yeah.
the same level of city. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Oh,
Like,
I'm
New
not
York
saying
is,
they're all
like,
the same
best
level of
city on
city.
the
I think
planet.
in general, like everything is the same. It's a very vague aspect of
Is this
my
like
point
one
of
of those
view.
things
But
where
like,
like every place has a Chipotle and a Chipotle makes all places the same kind of vibe? Is this what we're getting at?
yeah, kinda, yeah. There's a lot more Chipotles everywhere, including LA, where like LA doesn't need any Chipotles.
No, but we do have other stuff, whereas Cleveland.
Oh yeah. I'm
You
not
know
saying
what
I'm not saying Chipotle is the good part of any city.
I feel like this is a good indication that the post-game show is over. I want to thank
I think
everybody
so.
for listening. Subscribe, hit the thumbs up in the video. Thanks for being in the comments. Jeff, thank you so much for being on
Thanks
the
for joining
show.
us.
We're going to have a preview episode coming out this week for our our rivalry Champions League game against Philly. That is this Wednesday. So hopefully we'll have an episode for you on Tuesday or Wednesday morning to preview that. I think we're aiming for Tuesday, but I don't like making any promises. Please send us your stories from the last time we played Philadelphia, just memories from that day. It can be attached to what happened on the pitch, but we're looking for things not like, my memory is Gareth Bale scoring. We all remember that. If you have a story about what happened with you when Gareth Bale
Personal,
scored.
get personal.
Yeah, let's get
Give us
personal.
all your secrets.
You could also get emotional. That would feel great too. Send that to Happyfoot
That is a
Sadfoot
formal-
Pod.
That's a formal request to cry on the podcast.
If you cry, I will Venmo you $25, but it has to be real tears. I can tell. I know a good actor. HappyfootSadfootPod@gmail.com to send voice memos of those stories. Please send voices instead of text. That's what we are looking for, and maybe no one will send it, and it'll be fine, and we'll look stupid.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for hanging out in the comments. This was a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun.
Darren, say the magic words.
I love you. Goodbye.
I love you. See you
I love
See
you.
you in Philly. I love you. See you in Chester.